half of what I write about movies is I purely exploit movies as an example to illustrate some theoretical point. Then there is about 25-30% where I do an analysis of a movie, but more just to analyze an ideological phenomenon. I don't dwell specifically with a movie. So only rarely, but I hope sometimes I do something more, which is I effectively analyze a movie. By this, I mean I analyze its form, in the sense that, as all good Marxists know, beginning with Fred Jenson's Marxism and Form, a true Marxist is always a formalist, in the sense of the form in a great work of art not only perfectly renders content, but even contradicts content. It tells more than content. It can go even against the explicit intention of its author. And this is what I think I do in my, let's call them, I'm ashamed to say this, best analysis. I have here a couple of examples. I did some, I will not go to the standard stuff, but okay, just with Hitchcock. I think that the proper way, and Jensen agrees here with me, to read Hitchcock is not to begin with anxiety, death, guilt, murder, and then, but to see the content of his films. And it's clear if you read Hitchcock's conversations with François Truffaut, he says this. He said it all begins with a certain scene, camera movement, and so on. What if camera moves like this, like that, and then he invents the story to be able to use these formal procedures. So at my best, when I analyze Hitchcock, is I focus on some purely formal motives, like the one that I detect from his murder from 31 or 2, or when one of his early sound movies, to Psycho, Birth, and so on. This idea of how camera approaches an uncanny object, and then all of a sudden it jumps up. You get this God's view, what Hitchcock's called, and then all of a sudden some obscene agent, which is like an evil God, intervenes into reality. Let me know this time. But what I'm saying is that we get here a certain, inscribed into the forum itself, a certain terrifying theology of evil God, which runs even against the usual reading of the film, the intention, and so on and so on. And to go further, that's why, as many of my readers know, the ultimate maybe movie of the last half a century is maybe, I'm not sure, but nonetheless, for me, Robert Altman's Shortcuts. Because, you know, vulgar leftists read it, you know, it 8, 9 parallel stories about ordinary people in these depressive suburbs of Los Angeles, contingent encounters among them. They read it as a portrayal of the despair, spiritual void, hopelessness of middle classes. No, there is an optimist dimension in the forum itself. These contingent encounters, some are bad, some are good. You know, it's a kind of a almost Deleuzean pluralistic universe. At the level of forum, without presenting any positive hero, at the level of forum, Altman renders the positive counterpart, the optimistic dimension. And again, what I'm really obsessed with is how sometimes today, I will make a jump to literature, even if we are dealing with a traditional genre, but the forum can change its status, make it a true work of art. My example that I like to quote lately is, you know, Tana French, the new Irish lady detective. her excellent stories, what does she do? She offers, at the level of content, the best class analysis of antagonisms of today's Ireland. But you cannot say, why does she still follow the detective novel form? Wouldn't it be better to directly do it? No, it would have been vulgar to direct. You know, that's the beauty that through this, the tour, through the forum of detective novel, which has immanently nothing to do with antagonisms of today's Ireland, is a way to depict this antagonism much more accurately than through some direct realist analysis, which is, I'm even ready to go so far. Traditional realist writing is either lost in some postmodern metafiction or bullshit, but I think that today, I'm going to the end, and it's important to know that all these new writers, Gillian Flynn and so on in the United States, they are women. The new, they call it feminine noir. Their police procedures and these are detective novels. Superficially, they still follow the formula whodunit, like at the end you learn the truth. But this is, I think, the only authentic genre where literature novels are really a work of art. I think that novels, I am already tempted to generalize this. Novels which want to be directly works of art are fake bullshit. Maybe it goes a little bit also for science fiction, but my privileged domain today are detective novels written by women. And so that I will at least appear as a good feminist, I would like to say that the same goes, and this is the problem for us who are all of three, okay, not all, old, I'm an old white man. Isn't it that also so many good books about Hegel are today written by women? So at least here, I'm not saying this as a cheap feminist promote women. No, I envy them. I hate them. They can be better than me, you know. But I like it that good books on Hegel and good detective novels are today written by women. Sorry.